Good morning, students. So this is the fifth part of our chapter cell, the unit of life. So we're studying about endomembrane system, and this is the last part of endomembrane system, that is called vacuole. So vacuole is a membrane bound space found in the cytoplasm. It contains water, sap, excretory products, and other materials not useful for the cell. Vacuole is bounded by a single membrane that is called tonoplast. In plant cell, the vacuoles occupy up to 90% of the volume of the cell. In plant cell, vacuole is generally one in number and very large, and in animal cells, vacuoles are many but small in size. So, in plants, tonoplasts facilitate the transport of number of ions and other materials against the concentration gradient into the vacuole. Hence, their concentration is significantly higher in the vacuole than in the cytoplasm. So, in amoeba also, contractile vacuole is important for excretion, and in many protistans, etc., food vacuoles are formed by engulfing food particles. So, next we will study about mitochondria. So, in this slide, we'll study about mitochondria. Mitochondria are visible under light microscope, and so detailed structure has been revealed by electron microscope. So, mitochondria was first seen in 1880 by Kolliker, who isolated them from insect muscle cells. And the mitochondria are found in all aerobic eukaryotic cells. You have studied about aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So in aerobic respiration, the glucose molecules then converted into pyruvic acid in the cytoplasm, and then pyruvic acid gets converted into carbon dioxide and water in the organelle mitochondria. So these are present very large in number in the aerobic organisms. So they are helping in the their cell membranes are having respiratory enzymes. So mitochondria are often concentrated in more active regions of the cell where energy requiring processes occur. So it means that the organism which are having more energy demand, they are very large in number. Just like in muscle cells, they lie in rows sandwiched between contractile elements. In sperms, they are present in the form of longitudinal fibrils that cause movement, and in the gland cells, they are near the secretory surface, so they are present according to their need. So structure, the form, size and number of mitochondria vary but are characteristic for each cell type. So mitochondria is bounded by having two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. So outer membrane is smooth, having much less surface area, while the inner membrane is folded to form cristae, hence having very large surface area. And this large surface area is having ATPase enzyme for the production of ATP. Membrane of mitochondria is freely permeable, unlike most biological membranes, and inner membrane is semi-permeable. The outer membrane of mitochondria is made up of 50% proteins and 50% lipids, whereas inner membrane is made up of 80% proteins and 20% lipids. So this is the diagram showing detailed structure of mitochondria. It's just having membranes, outer membrane, inner membrane, cristae. I have told you, extend inward to varying degrees and may fuse with those from the opposite side, dividing the mitochondria into compartments. So cristae having them in narrow intercrystal space, and it's continuous with the membranous space. Now, on their present oxysomes. The inner mitochondrial membrane bears minute, regularly spaced, lollipop-shaped structures, which are called oxysomes. And these oxysomes are made up of F0, F1 particles, and the rest, and they help in the ATPase generation. Next is matrix. The white space between cristae is called the inner chamber. It's filled with a dense fluid termed mitochondrial matrix. It matrix contains proteins, lipids, some ribosomes, etc. And the major functions of mitochondria, as is you all know that it is called the powerhouse of the cell, means store batteries or ATP mills of the cell. So mitochondria provide intermediates for the synthesis of important biomolecules. Some amino acids are also formed in mitochondria, and major function, you all know that mitochondria are the main seat of cell respiration. They are going to form energy currency ATP, and these are the some other functions, just like matrix contain enzyme for the synthesis of fatty acids, and all these functions are there. Now, we'll study about the most important organelle present in the plant cells. Plastids are visible under light microscope. So, the plastids are cytoplasmic organelle found in the plant cells and in certain protists. They are of two types, types, leucoplast and chromoplast. Leucoplasts are colorless and occur in the cells not exposed to sunlight. And the chromoplasts are colored and occur in the cells exposed to sunlight. The chromoplast having light absorbing green pigment, the chlorophyll, are called the chloroplast. So all the chloroplast having cells help in the photosynthesis. So chloroplasts are most common type of plastid and are of prime biological importance because they are helping in the main function of main, as they are provide food to particularly all organisms through photosynthesis. So first of all, chloroplasts were discovered by seen by Leeuwenhoek, and they are the characteristics of green protestant plant cells, and they are having structures that they are having chloroplast in higher plants are usually spherical, ovoid, discoidal in structure, and in lower forms, lower plants like algae, they are mostly varied in form, just like cup shaped in Clydomonas, spiral shaped in Spirogyra, girdle shaped in Eulotherix, and star like in Zygemia. So the chloroplasts generally range from 4 to 10 micrometer in long axis, and number is also like this, that their algal cells are having only single chloroplast, may have a single large chloroplast, but higher plants have 20 to 40 chloroplast per cell, but the number may exceed up to 500 sometimes. So the structure of chloroplast is like this, that it's bounded by two membranes like mitochondria, and and the two membranes have space between them, and the space is called intermembrane space, which is fluid filled. Outer membrane is smooth and freely permeable to small molecules, and inner membrane is semi-permeable and rich in protein. And then in there is present matrix inside the inner membrane. There is present matrix. It's colorless, granular, colloid ground substance, which is called stroma. It contains proteins, lipids, um, ribosomes of 70 S type, and small circular double helical DNA molecule. And next is the lamellae. The lamellae are present in the after separation from the inner membrane, usually take part in the form of close flattened the thylakoids, which lie closely packed in the piles, which the piles are called grana. You can see in the diagram. A thylakoid encloses a very narrow intrathylakoid space bounded by a unit membrane. The thylakoid of adjacent grana are interconnected by branching membranous tubules called frets or stromal lamellae. So a chloroplast may have 40 to 100 grana in its matrix, and a grana is composed of 20 to 50 thylakoids in the chloroplast of higher plants. So alga have a few thylakoids that don't form grana, so they are called agranal. And the thylakoid membrane also contain coupling factors that bring about ATP synthesis. So, in green algae, the chloroplasts contain one or more spherical protein bodies, which are called pyrenoids. They accumulate pyren. The function of pyrenoids is they accumulate starch. So, like mitochondria, the chloroplasts are also self-duplicating organelles. They have their own DNA, and they have the process of, by the process of autonomy, they can form their own chloroplast. Because of they can have, they are having DNA, and they have their own 70s ribosomes, so they can synthesize protein and form their own copies, and can divide to multiply their number. So, functions of chloroplast are basically, first of all, the major function is photosynthesis. That chloroplast trap the radiant energy of sunlight and transform into chemical energy of glucose. This slide is in continuation with the previous slide. So we were talking about the functions of plastids or chloroplast. First of all, you all know photosynthesis, and next is oxygen supply. Chloroplasts provide oxygen, the byproduct of photosynthesis, to all aerobic organisms for respiration. You all know in the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water, when react together in the presence of sunlight and chloroplast, the byproduct is food, C6H12O6 glucose molecule, and oxygen. This oxygen is very important for we animals, and we take it for respiration. Next is starch storage. As I have earlier told you, the chloroplast temporarily stored starch grains during the daytime in the pyrenoids, the starch forming organelles. At night, the starch is transferred to regions of growth and storage. And then lipid storage. Fat droplets are stored as plastoglobuli in the matrix. Food supply. Chloroplasts provide food and chemical energy to practically all organisms. So these are the major function of plastids or chloroplasts.